Singapore says $370 million in wage support was wrongly paid out last year and intends to claw them back.
Closing in on all-time highs, Housing Board resale prices jump for the 9th consecutive month.
And Tokyo is planning to return to tougher measures after COVID-19 cases there hit a 2-month high. Welcome to The Big Story, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. I'm Olivia Ho.
And I'm Hairianto Dimana. You can subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you never miss a single episode.
The Trade and Industry Ministry has found an error in the business reopening dates affecting job support scheme payouts.
And this resulted in about 5,400 firms receiving an excess of $370 million in wage support. The error arose as agencies had a short time to process more than 1.8 million applications. So some businesses received the wrong JSS amounts.
According to a press release today, no action is required from affected businesses for now. The Inland Revenue Authority of Singapore will first offset the excess amount against the business's future JSS payouts.
If future payouts are insufficient to offset the amount, IRAS, MTI and the Finance Ministry will inform affected businesses of any outstanding excess amount. Installment payment arrangements will also be available. At the same time, 1,100 businesses were identified to be eligible for additional JSS payouts. The additional allocation will be credited to businesses by end April.
Now, the error affected foreign worker levy waivers and rebates as well, amounting to an estimated $1.2 million. These were granted to 360 businesses last June and July. Likewise, no action is needed from affected businesses for now. MTI and the Manpower Ministry will reach out to them.
In other news, delays in BTO flats, rising private property prices and improving market sentiment drove demand in the HDB resale market, sending prices climbing for the 9th straight month. According to SRX flash data, resale prices rose 0.8% in March from the previous month. Year-on-year, resale prices were up 9.5% from March 2020.
21 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed today, all imported. They were placed on stay-home notices when they arrived in Singapore. More details will be released later tonight.
The recently extended COVID-19 recovery grant was the main topic of discussion when Social and Family Development Minister Massago Zulkifli was on Money FM 89.3 earlier today.
He said MSF continuously coordinates with other ministries to ensure vulnerable families get optimal financial help and to ensure that they have financial stability even after a grant lapses.
But Mr. Massagos also shared a more personal side.
Unlike other ministries, yours is very much focused on the vulnerable in Singapore. So before I let you go, just give me a little insight into your mind, into your heart. What worries you the most as the Minister for Social and Family Development?
I worry that our society, as we become more affluent, we also want to live separately from each other. Whether this is an economic situation and whether it is also because we like to live among people who are like us. It could be our race, it could be our religion. Mm-hmm. I worry when these are the things that pull our society apart, because it's always easy to live with people who are like us, but not with people who may not be like us or have things that we may not be comfortable with. And sometimes people who are vulnerable, people who are poorer than us. And that is why how we have constructed the construct of our housing, where we do have people who live in rental homes side by side with people who live in bigger and better homes, going to the same school, going to the same hawker center. These are very precious constructs that we must preserve. And I worry one day when people want to live apart and away from the inconveniences that they see in daily life. We just have to continue to work hard to make sure that we continue to be an inclusive society, no matter what situation we are in, crisis or affluence.
All right. Well, for all of us parents who grew up with that gotong royong spirit, it's up to us.
Absolutely.
To spread it to our children and our grandchildren.
Looking overseas, Tokyo is planning to return to stricter virus measures as COVID-19 cases there hit a 2-month high. The Japanese capital recorded 555 cases yesterday, the most since early February. And this comes less than 3 weeks after a state of emergency was lifted. The extra steps already imposed in the Osaka area are broadly similar to the emergency declaration. Local media reported that the measures could be imposed as early as tomorrow.
South Korea reported its highest daily figure as well since early January with 700 new cases. Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun today reiterated warnings that new social distancing rules would likely be needed, which are likely to be announced tomorrow.
According to White House officials, U.S. President Joe Biden will be unveiling measures later today aimed at curbing rampant gun violence in the country. One of the proposed new rules is to stop the proliferation of firearms built from home kits. An administration official said such guns are of concern because they can't be traced when found at crime scenes. Mr. Biden will also announce his nomination of David Chipman, an advocate for gun control, to head the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives.
Well, he may be most known for shooting hoops, but basketball star Shaquille O'Neal also knows a thing or two about scoring hearts. In a video gone viral, the NBA legend is seen paying for a stranger's engagement ring at a jewelry store after overhearing him ask how much he still owed on his ring. O'Neal then whips out his credit card, gives it to the cashier before he shakes the customer's hand and pats him reassuringly on the shoulder.
To kickstart this week's live picks, we're looking ahead to the Singapore International Festival of Arts. Cancelled last year because of the pandemic, it returns on May the 14th.
And here to tell us more is assistant live editor Olivia Ho. Hi Olivia. Olivia, this year's festival will have 60 shows by both local and international acts. Now with so many to choose from, which would you say is a must-watch?
Well, this year has really been a bumper crop from, we have about 9 festival commissions, and that is the biggest number that we've had in the 3 years of festival director Gaurav Kripalani's tenure. And it's very hard to pick. I'm particularly excited about the commission, which is the first time homegrown theatre companies Pandemonium, Wild Rise and the Singapore Repertory Theatre will be on stage together. Of course, they appeared together last year in The Pitch, which is a very funny short film that they made to raise funds, and they're following this up in live theatre with the commission. I'm also extremely keen on Oiwa, for instance. It's by the Finger Players. It's a story about a vengeful Japanese ghost wife, so the wife of a samurai in the Edo period, who is disfigured and then dies, and she returns to avenge herself. And the Finger Players, known for their work with puppetry, they are working with a Japanese theatre company, and they will be bringing on human puppets who will be controlled by puppeteers. So that's another something to look forward to. And also we have Three Sisters, which is the Anton Chekhov play, one of his best-known works. 9 Years Theatre is working together with a New York theatre company called City, and they'll be performing together. The New York actors will be coming in remotely, and the 9 Years Theatre actors will be performing at the National Library's Drama Centre Theatre. So that's all very exciting. And there's a lot of other stuff as well.
Exactly. So there is so much to pay attention to. So Olivia, how can someone catch all of these performances? I understand, some shows are already sold out, but there could be more seats made available soon. And of course, there is the virtual element as well.
Yes, so the moment SIFA tickets were released, they were gone, many of them, they were going like hotcakes. So several of the shows are currently sold out. But as we know, recently, the government has announced the easing of restrictions on live performance. And so the SIFA team has said that they will consider this, and we may be looking forward to there being more seats released sometime soon. We're not really sure, but we'll let you know when that happens. Plus, if you still can't get those seats, there's always video on demand. So the theatre commissions are available they'll be available digitally, and I think those tickets will be released on April the 12th.
Thanks for that, Olivia. That was Olivia Ho, Assistant Live Editor. The Singapore International Festival of Arts will be from May 14th to the 30th. You can get your tickets and, of course, find out more information on SIFA's website.
But something that's happening much sooner, well, today in fact, is the newest Mortal Kombat movie. I am excited. I'm a huge fan. It's out in the cinemas today.
Well, film correspondent John Lui is here to share more. So, John, the franchise has, already 2 movies, so this will be the 3rd one, and all 3 are spin-offs of the popular Mortal Kombat video game series, of which Haryanto is a big fan of. What can fans of the franchise expect?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Haryanto. I wish it was better, but I'm afraid you'll have to wait for another movie to come along.
Oh dear, but okay, John, I'm a fan. Is there anything, I suppose, good? Because when I was watching the trailer, I was really impressed with the costumes. The costumes look good, the action was there. Anything particularly good about the movie?
Yeah, the costumes and set design are great. We see Singaporean actor Chin Han in a really grand operatic costume with a big headgear and a big wig. What's the problem with it is that it tries to be a video game movie, stay true to its video game roots. So you have a small group of fighters in an enclosed space. So unlike Aquaman or the big superhero movies, it really can't open up and have battles between armies, so you miss that spectacle. And also because it comes from a video game background, when you see martial arts, I think all of us have now increased our standards of what martial arts in movie can be. I mean, we've seen John Wick, right? So now for this, the martial arts, it tends to be influenced by the video games, and because of all the costumes and things they're wearing, it tends to slow them down. So the martial arts is just merely okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, John, does the movie in any way bring it into the 2021 era? Because, after all, the previous 2 movies were made over 20 years ago.
That's right. The 2 movies were kind of campy, kind of over the top. It's a style that was, in the old Batman movies, you used to see that, but not anymore. So now the tone is more serious. It's more like Avengers, heroes assembled kind of. So everyone is built up to be serious and epic and really like honorable people from the start. So I don't know. It just takes itself a bit too seriously for me.
Okay, but I think I'll still watch it because
Go for it, yeah.
It brings back childhood memories for me.
You absolutely
I'll
should.
watch it. Well, thank you so much, John, for sharing that. We've been speaking with film correspondent for the Straits Times, John Lui. Mortal Kombat is out today.
Well, tomorrow's Friday pages will have more live pics. You should also visit straitstimes.com for more news and videos.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the red button below. Once again, I'm Haryanto with Olivia Ho. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.